for Matthew Stafford to ever feel underappreciated because Dan's one of the best in the business. Dan works on 17 shows.
And never fails to mention Matthew Stafford.
And you could be talking about another team and another quarterback, and a quarterback throws a great ball or he throws a no-look, and he would say that quarterback wouldn't even say his name threw that ball like Matthew Stafford. So Matthew Stafford can never feel underappreciated ever in life. But I do agree that he is extremely talented. I think people are starting to take notice. But Jalen Hurts is the most underappreciated. Jalen Hurts is on the trajectory to be a Hall of Famer. I've said this. Jalen Hurts does what I felt Troy Aikman did for the Dallas Cowboys. Did Troy Aikman have a great offensive line? Yes. Jalen Hurts too. Running back, wide receivers, all of those things, and he did exactly what he needed to do to win. And I think Jalen Hurts ends up with a gold jacket just as he did.
Well, I definitely think this is trifecta. I agree with both of y'all. Matthew Stafford is a stud. We know what a marvelous story he is. And even though he never won a playoff game in those 12 years in Detroit, the fact of the matter is we never, listen, I'm just giving you facts, man. Even though that happened, we never once felt it was his fault. We knew it was an organizational thing. We knew that he was mired in purgatory. It was not his fault. Matthew Stafford has always been a stud, and he's arrived in Los Angeles. He's won a Super Bowl. He's 5-2 in the playoffs. Got like 15 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions in his postseason play in Los Angeles. Matthew Stafford is great, but we've always known that about him. We've lacked an appreciation for Jalen Hurts. There's only 3 quarterbacks that have beaten Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. It's Tom Brady, who's now retired. It's Joe Burrow, and of course, it's Jalen Hurts. This brother's been in 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. Had they not lost the Super Bowl 38-35 a few years ago to Kansas City, Jalen Hurts would have been an MVP of that game because he balled out in the Super Bowl. Then he showed up last year, and he did it again as the MVP. This brother is something special, and he just wins. This is what we're talking about here. He finds a way to beat you.
Situational leverage.
It's just the way that it is. So I would say it's a trifecta.
Are you capable of complimenting someone and leaving it at that?
I do it all the time.
Hoover.
I do it all the time. I mean, it's just I'm very selective when I do it. I mean, sometimes it's necessary to just point out other facts.
No one is very selective about something they do all the time.
Well, actually, that is not true. You can be selective because you do stuff all the time. So therefore,
you are literally just saying words right now.
Please, Bump.
Aaron Rodgers and Drake May.
That I thought was really interesting. In their last 11 games, the Rams are 9-0 against everybody else, but they've lost twice to the Eagles. So this is a huge test, I think, on both sides. Set the game up for me.
They've also struggled to stop Saquon Barkley when it mattered most in the 2 games they met last year, and yet Saquon Barkley hasn't rushed for 100 yards in either of the first 2 games. At the risk of upsetting Philadelphia Eagles fans even more this week, the Eagles right now offensively are middle of the pack. They're not really moving the football the way they did last year. They are flawed right now as well as they played, and the fact that they are 2-0. The Rams are the team that nobody talks about in the NFC. We talk about how great the Eagles are. We talk about how great the Lions are. We talk about how great the Packers are. Nobody brings up the Rams in that conversation. This is the chance the Rams have to make a statement that they belong in the conversation with some of these other NFC heavyweights.
So I opened the show today by saying all this talk about the tush push, it's masking what has been their real problem. Cindy, can you put C24 up there? There have been 33 different quarterbacks who have started a game this year so far, because the 49ers have started 2. The only one of them that hasn't thrown a touchdown is Jalen Hurts. Now, he's been great when called upon. He's completed 75% of his throws, but he's only averaging 126 yards per game. Dan and Hawk, this kind of brings me back a little bit to last year. Remember, we were talking so much about their passing game struggles, and A.J. Brown is reading books, and all of that gets completely forgotten when you go on the run they do and they win the Super Bowl. But I guess I would ask, Hawk, starting with you.
Yeah.
Do you think their lack at this point of a passing game will wind up becoming a problem?
I don't think it'll be a problem in the long term. I think early on, specifically in this game, it will be an issue because of how they match up with the Rams. When you look at this Eagles offense, and last year, to your point, Greeny, we had this conversation early in the season. They had a new offensive coordinator. They're trying to figure things out. It seems the approach this year is more efficiency. Hey, we're getting the ball out quick. We're running the football. We're not taking unnecessary risks, and we're going to win the turnover battle. They're 2-0, so you can't argue that. But going against the Los Angeles Rams, they're going to put points on the board, and those opportunities that the Chiefs and the Cowboys lost by throwing the ball deep, they're going to hit on them because Stafford, Nakua, Adams are on a different level right now.
They got to get more out of A.J. Brown in the pass game. We can say and have the respect necessary, and that has been earned by the Eagles and the deserve, that we're not doubting them or whatnot, but we can also go to this year and go, A.J. Brown's got 3 yards after the catch. 3? A.J. Brown last week against the Chiefs ran the same route 10 times. They line up A.J. Brown 4 yards outside of the numbers. He runs up 5 yards, and he runs a short in or a slant route. He just runs an in breaker. So as a defense, we're making it easy on him. I mean, these are all the same routes by A.J. Brown. And for everybody who's like, if you're killing the defense, I get it. Like, make them stop you. But if you're not killing the defense, which you weren't doing, then there's got to be more. We got to get A.J. more vertical, crossing the middle of the field, deeper on his routes. And I sit there and I'm watching the pass game, and I understand you won the game. Like, yes, no doubt.
For sure.
But we're running the same route every time. We're not paying A.J. Brown $30+ million to run 5 yards down the field and run an in-breaker to get 8 yards.
The issue is they're not strengthening that muscle. At some point, you're going to have to throw the ball down the field.
And we've seen them do it,
Totally. Absolutely. But in this year, like, football is a development game. You have to get the reps at it. You have to make sure that your team is confident. You have to make sure your coaches are confident that you have the ability to play any game that's necessary to win. Right now, they haven't shown it because they haven't had to. But against the Los Angeles Rams, if they're not pushing the ball down the field, they will lose this game.
There's also the reality, Saquon's 3rd in the NFL in carries. He's 9th in yards. He's averaging something like 3.4 yards per carry. Last year, it was like north of 5.5.
Yeah.
So there hasn't really, through 2 games, been anything offensively that has stood out. They're 2-0. There's no panic. They've earned the right to have us to sit there and say they'll work their way through it.
How about on the other side of it, Matthew Stafford right now, people don't necessarily pay enough attention to it when we talk about the best quarterbacks in the league, and this is not to diminish anything about those guys, but you always mention Josh and Lamar, and you mentioned Patrick Mahomes. Shouldn't Matthew Stafford's name be in that conversation? Is anyone playing better than he's playing?
No. For whatever reason, he's overlooked, and to me, one day he's going to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's led a team to a Super Bowl victory. He's got passing records. He's got marks. He's finding his targets. He's got great rapport with Davante Adams right now. Puka Nakua has been one of the best receivers in the league this season. They're moving the ball in the air, on the ground. Again, this is a chance for this team to make a statement that they belong in that conversation.
With the picks up on the screen there, and you heard the Bussin' with the Boys guys both like the Rams to win the game this weekend. Yeah. What was it you said this morning about Puka Nakua?
Puka Nakua is playing at a different level than every other receiver in the NFL right now. And on top of that, his chemistry with Matt Stafford is a thing of beauty. No one's playing as fast. No one's being as efficient. You get him the ball in space. He's big. He blocks. He can run after the catch. He can run before the catch. He can get out of his breaks quicker than even some of the smaller receivers.
Puka's the best receiver in football that no one says the best receiver in football. And he's that good. If we want to have the conversation with Jamar and Justin, Puka's right there. And Sean McVay's as good as anybody finding matchups and finding weaknesses of the defense and attacking it. He is going to formation and motion and shift Puka to get him away from Quinyon Mitchell and attack Adoree Jackson, and you're going to see 12, 15 targets of those deep in-breakers or crossing routes by Puka.
And what you get with Puka is better than what you'll get from the next receiver. He's the number 1 guy, not Davante Adams. And Adams is great, and he's playing well, and he's getting his rapport down with Stafford. But make no mistake, Puka Nakua is their number 1
This is
far
also
away.
The most diverse offense in football, the Rams. They're doing stuff offensively no one else is doing in the NFL. No one.
And as a quick final thought on that, I just found myself trying to go through in my head their division.